Today, we got Sabretooth taking on Blade. Who comes out on top? Let's find out. Victor Creed is the feral mutant called Sabretooth. He was a member or more a subject of the Weapon X project and is the arch enemy of Wolverine. Unlike Wolverine, Sabretooth embraces his primal instincts, leaving death in his wake. Now, Sabretooth actually possesses many of the same powers as Wolverine, with his primary power being a remarkably accelerated healing factor. He's able to heal damaged flesh and organs and heal broken bones just minutes, as well as being immune to all toxins. And on top of that, he can just push his body harder and farther than the average human. For instance, he has greater strength than the average human, as his body instantly repairs any muscle damage and negates lactic acid buildup. Creed possesses enhanced senses, which allows him to see at incredible distances, and even at night, track people based on their scent, and can hear a noise up to 3 miles away. Sabretooth has 3-inch claws in place of his finger and toenails, which are extendable, sort of like Lady Deathstrike's. He has animal-like fangs, which appear to be made of a substance stronger than bone, although this might just be because of his bone's extreme durability. Now, at first glance, Creed might not seem like the most intelligent person, but despite his brutish appearance, he's actually quite intelligent on the strategic and tactical level. Then, in the corner, Blade, a human-vampire hybrid with all the strengths but none of the weaknesses of a traditional vampire. Blade has dedicated his life to destroying the occult world of vampires and all who associates with them. Due to his mother being bitten by a vampire while she is pregnant with him, Blade displays unique abilities. Can't become a vampire by normal means, but does have a strong thirst for blood. However, rather than actually consuming blood, he injects himself with a specially designed serum that provides the same nourishment. Blade possesses superhuman strength, and while his exact limit isn't necessarily specified, he can lift at least 2 to 5 tons. He's been able to overpower a vampiric Spider-Man, jump hundreds of feet in the air, and easily behead vampires with his bare hands. He has superhuman speed, can easily dodge gunfire, and has an ability called Flash Step, where he moves so fast that it looks like he teleported. Thanks to his vampiric nature, he possesses a form of immortality, is incredibly resistant to physical attacks, and has a healing factor similar to Wolverine. Blade is a master martial artist, is proficient with essentially every known melee weapon, and several different kinds of martial arts. He's easily able to hold his own against multiple enemies. He can actually adapt to any fighting style that's being thrown at him, whether the opponent is armed or unarmed. He is a skilled marksman, whether that be with automatic or semi-automatic weapons or throwing knives. Blade is also a master swordsman, and usually uses a teakwood or adamantium sword. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, I really love this fight, and think these guys are incredibly well matched. I mean, just look at how they play off Wolverine. Sabretooth has regularly battled against Wolverine, and has taken him down, even humiliated him on multiple occasions. Sabretooth even hunts Wolverine down on his birthday each year, just so Creed can beat Logan. On the other hand, when S.H.I.E.L.D. needed to take Logan down and bring him in, they believed that Blade had the best chance of doing this, because of his skills and resiliency. So yeah, a fight between Sabretooth and Blade would be one that I would love to see. So with that being said, which one of these two is physically more powerful? Because physicality is going to be a key asset in this fight, especially just how Creed fights and tries to physically overwhelm opponents. Well, Sabretooth is exceptionally strong, breaking out of metal constraints just by flexing his fingers. casually lifting up a massive metal blast door, just one hand. He's easily able to punch through walls or throw around cars, tear metal doors off their hinges, and Creed has actually broken Wolverine's bone claws and sent Logan absolutely flying into the air with a punch. Sabretooth is also durable enough to take direct shots from a grenade launcher. He's fallen from the stratosphere and gotten back up, swallowed one of Gambit's kinetic cards. He's taken blasts from Iron Man and Kid Apocalypse. And Sabretooth has taken punches from Spider-Man, Rogue, Captain Marvel, Sasquatch, Hulk, and gotten right back up from an Iron Fist punch from Danny Rand. That's really not even mentioning Creed's healing factor. I mean, Wolverine has even said before that Sabretooth's healing factor is better than his. Although that's kinda debatable, considering that Logan has more impressive healing feats. Regardless, he's been able to almost instantly heal from bullets and kept on standing after being shot hundreds of times by Deadpool. He walked off being stabbed by Wolverine. Doesn't seem to mind being stabbed in the heart, having parts of his head cut off. And Creed is actually able to just reattach limbs. Creed has even been reduced to a skeleton by Sunspot and quickly healed. And he survived having his entire nervous system ripped out by the High Evolutionary. But while I don't think Blade is quite as strong or as durable as Sabretooth, he can definitely still hang. He snapped medical restraints and broken out of being constrained just by flexing his muscles. And Blade has actually punched and kicked metal doors so hard that they bent and broken off their hinges. He's shattered a vampire's spine with a shove, casually tore off a vampire's head, just one hand, and Blade has battled against and knocked down a vampiric Spider-Man, who you could consider to be an amped version of Spider-Man. Blade is also remarkably durable, and like other vampires, he possesses an accelerated healing factor that allows him to quickly heal from most injuries. He's been punched through walls, survived crash landings, and taken explosions that launched him almost a mile away, just picked himself right back up. He's casually stood explosions at point-blank range, been shot at point-blank multiple times, just brushed it off like nothing had happened, and Blade has actually been disemboweled, impaled, or crucified, and still been able to finish the fight. So, not quite as impressive as Sabretooth, but definitely still enough to keep him in the fight. On the other hand, Blade is faster and more agile. Now, Sabretooth is so fast that he looks like he's teleported in front of normal people. He's danced around Wolverine before, avoided gunfire at point-blank range, and he's dodge attacks from X-23, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Cyclops, and Rogue before. Sabretooth is pretty fast when he wants to be. But Blade has got him beat. Definitely got him beat. I mean, Sabretooth moved so fast that it looked like he had teleported in front of some random guards. Blade has moved so fast that it looked like he teleported in front of a vampire hunter and Deadpool. And Blade even left an after image in the process. These are what Blade calls flash steps. He can easily use them to move around Sabretooth. Blade has dodged gunfire from Deadpool while he's running towards Wade. He sliced a vampire 6 times and killed the vampire before the vamp even knew what had happened. He's killed vampires both with sword and shurikens while dodging bullets in the process. And Blade has even beaten Spitfire, a hypersonic speedster who can move 1 mile in a second. But it's not just about physicality, even though that is a large part of this fight. We've also got to look at fighting skill, and Blade takes that in spades. Don't get me wrong, Sabretooth has some skill, like he's beaten Psylocke, Mystique, Omega Red, Beast, and Nightcrawler in fights before. So it's not like Creed is necessarily a greenhorn or a rookie when it comes to fights. However, he's never really shown a whole lot of technical skill in a battle. nothing really past slashing and stabbing, or just trying to physically overpower an opponent. And Blade is just way beyond that more rudimentary level of fighting. Now, I know you might be thinking, what about Wolverine? Sabretooth has regularly been able to beat Logan, and yet Wolverine is one of the greatest fighters on Earth. So, shouldn't that suggest that Creed has some level of skill in fighting? Well, I would actually just say that fighting Wolverine is more the exception than the rule. It's just kind of difficult to use Wolverine as a measuring stick here. Mostly because Sabretooth knows Logan better than almost anyone. He knows his fighting styles, his thought patterns, how he moves and reacts in a fight. Creed knows Wolverine intimately, and that allows him to overcome Wolverine's greater skill. It's not going to play out so well for Creed when he goes up against Blade. For starters, Blade can fight on two different fronts, long range and close combat. He's one of the best shots in the Marvel Universe, and has decades and decades of training. In fact, he rarely ever misses a shot when going up against superhuman vampires. And it's not just guns, but he's also able to throw knives, swords, shurikens, and wooden pegs with incredible accuracy as well. In fact, Blade doesn't have to look in order to make killing shots, even killing multiple vampires at once without looking. And while Blade probably won't be able to permanently put down Sabretooth with long-range attacks, he can really injure and possibly overwhelm him, like when Deadpool just laid into Sabretooth with bullets. Then there's all the damage that Blade can do up close with his adamantium sword. Blade is a master swordsman, maybe one of the best in the world, and he's used this skill to kill dozens of armored vampires without a scratch, defeat a vampire who was known as the best swordsman in all of Europe, and Blade is so skilled that he said he knows 26 different ways to kill someone just while they were standing side by side. So, who wins? Well, Blade is definitely faster and more skilled. No real way around that. He's also able to fight on multiple different fronts throughout the battle, keeping Sabretooth at bay with his long-range weapons or fighting up close and stabbing and slashing with his adamantium sword. However, the question is, how much damage can Blade actually do? And that swings around to whether or not Sabretooth has adamantium. And that actually seems to be a whole lot more complicated than just a yes or no answer. Because some writers have said yes, he does have adamantium bones, while others have had Deadpool cut through his skull, or Rogue slam him so hard that you can see part of his brain, or have Wolverine cut off his hand. So yeah, it's actually really inconsistent and kinda all over the place. However, with that being said, yes, Blade should be able to do some serious damage to Sabretooth. And while Creed has a tendency to just rush in there and start swinging, physically overpowering his opponents, that's really nothing new for Blade. He actually fights creatures like that on a daily basis. There really isn't anything new Sabretooth can bring to the table that Blade hasn't already fought against and stabbed, shot, and killed. Yes, Sabretooth is stronger and more durable, but Sabretooth has still been brought down, and had his healing factor overwhelmed, even when we know for sure that he had his adamantium skeleton. And I think Blade is skilled enough to do that here. Basically, what I'm saying, Blade is coming out on top here. Blade wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos just one every single day. And I will see you all next time.